But so Chloé Zhao won for Best Director, which is awesome. She's not only the first Asian woman to be nominated, but the first Asian woman to win. She's from Beijing, and when this movie Nomadland got popular, it was very much like hyped up by the Chinese government of saying like, you know,
that's weird. That never happens with like films.
It was hyped up by the Chinese government of like, because it was like a kind of a national pride. But I guess they didn't really research who Chloé Zhao was.
I was going to say, did they do a Chinese cut? Don't they do different cuts for China?
I'll get to that.
Okay. They didn't research who she was.
Yeah, because they kind of built it as like, this is great pride for our country, and then they found out that like she's actually very critical of the Chinese government and has like said some things like calling them all liars and things like that. And after they found out, they banned any mention of Nomadland on the internet. There was supposed to be a screening in like a couple of theaters, and they canceled all of them, and basically like banned.
So if she goes to China, she'll just be disappeared.
Not anymore, because now she won, and now she's going to direct an upcoming Marvel movie, Eternals,
which will be big in China.
So now, because of that, they're doing a limited release.
Okay, this is what's so stupid. So
because first they were hyping it up, then they were like shushing any mention of it, and now that she's winning and doing Marvel stuff, they're like, all right, well, we'll let you back in.
Well, I'm not gonna get into fucking China, but okay, so she just won. She just did Nomadland. So the geniuses of Hollywood say, let's get her to do Marvel.
That's exactly what happens.
I know, but why? Like, how long are we going to do this? Why can't she just go do it the next cool fucking movie? Why do they just want to keep pumping out the same bullshit? Don't you want to like start making cool movies again, or is it just about the goddamn money?
I think it's the money.
I mean, obviously it's the money, but like...
she did this really cool movie. She's going on to do a Marvel movie so that she could do the next big movie. No one's going to keep backing... What do you mean? No one's going to keep financially backing you if you keep coming out with Nomadland. If you keep coming...
You just won a fucking Oscar.
Yes, I know. But if you keep coming up with these small budget movies that are not making as much money as the big budget Hollywood stuff... people are going to stop investing in you. No one wants to keep investing in an indie darling for their entire careers.
Well,
they want someone who's also going to be doing big budget stuff.
Right, but how much money must... So obviously Nomadland was profitable.
Yeah.
It couldn't have cost that much money to make.
Profitable. I mean, it was made by... Fox Searchlight, which is owned by Disney, and then released on Hulu, which is also owned by Disney. So I don't know what their I don't know what theater-wise they really did.
Well, probably
maybe a limited release.
Wait, we've probably talked about this, but can you do? You can do theater and Hulu?
Yes, you can.
What are the rules? The theater has to be first, obviously.
No, I think you can do it at the same time. I don't know if there are rules.
It could be streaming on Hulu, and you could go see it in the theater too at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you could do that. There's no like rules for what has to be in theater. If a theater agrees to show it, then they'll show it.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
The Irishman was still playing in theaters when it was Netflix.
That was a very specific thing because I remember
most like releases, like if they're well known or they're going for Oscar buzz, they'll have it streaming and they'll also do it in theaters. Because there are also some people who will still go to the theater to see it even if it's on streaming.
Yeah.
You can still make some money off it. I don't know what Nomadland grossed. I don't know specifically.
How much money does it cost to...
But I do know that, like, if you're not eventually willing to go for those big budget jobs, then people will stop investing in you. You know,
no, I get that from her perspective.
That's what Francis Ford Coppola said, was I make one for them and I make one for me.
Yeah.
So if Chloé Zhao is doing the same philosophy, Nomadland was for her, and then Marvel Eternals is for them.
Well, it's not like it was this little indie rinky-dink. It just won the fucking Oscar.
Right, but it was made for an extremely low budget, and also, like, I don't...
Frances McDormand was the star. I'm sorry.
Right, but... I mean, besides Frances McDormand, no one else known is in that.
I get your point. I'm just saying it wasn't like this little indie movie.
Right.
But yeah, I guess if she's offered a Marvel job and turns it down, you're like screwed.
100%. And Marvel goes for these indie filmmakers.
Yeah. We've been through this. Because that's what happened with Josh Trank.
That's what happened with Josh Trank. Well, that was Fox before it got bought by Disney.
But the same concept. It was
same concept. Taika Waititi, he was an independent filmmaker from New Zealand who, like, Marvel grabbed to, like, do a bunch of their stuff.
Do they get these directors because they don't have to pay them that much?
No, they get these directors. I don't know. I don't think it's financially. I don't think it's because they pay them less. I think it's because they get, like, a lot of kind of street cred. These indie, they pick indie.
Well, why would they care about street cred if it's only about the money?
Because who's directing it is also part of the advertising.
Okay.
If you have a Marvel movie and it's like, oh, and also it's being directed by this indie filmmaker who's made a lot of, like, small, really cool, interesting stuff.
What's
part of the marketing?
What's the Marvel movie that she's doing?
Eternals, which is that's one of, like, the lesser known ones. Like the Eternals comics wise, they're kind of like these weird, like, cosmic gods, and they're, like, in comics they're very lesser known. But with Marvel now, they could take any of their properties and turn it into $1 billion movie.
That's so crazy.
Now they can. And I like Chloé Zhao a lot. You know, she's very charismatic. Like, she's someone you want to root for. And I think it's great. And I think her specifically, who the director is, goes a lot with marketing, especially when it's someone like Chloé Zhao, who, like, she's funny, she's charismatic, she's an immigrant, she's someone you want to root for. It was the exact same thing with kind of Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, where when you watch this guy, he's a guy you want to root for. And that's kind of like, you get these indie filmmakers who are charismatic as part of your big budget movies, because people will go see the movie because it's a director they want to root for, because they want they want Chloé Zhao's movie to do well. Okay. They want Bong Joon-ho's movies to do well.